Grizzlies in Game 1. Despite getting a season-low points from SGA, OKC won the game by 51, the largest Game 1 victory in NBA history. In fact, their 131 points tied the third most in a playoff game, while their 36 assists and 17 made threes tied the second most. And Big Perk thinks OKC sent a message to the league. Take a listen.
On a night where SGA didn't have his MVP-type performance, they still spoke them by 50. And when I look at Oklahoma City, it's no drop-off nowhere defensively. No matter if they're making or missing shots, they're going to slide those puppies on the perimeter. Also showed the world a lot about their depth to the non-believers. My biggest takeaway was the message that OKC sent to the rest of the Western Conference that we're here and we're standing on business.
Carlos, we had a lot of blowouts yesterday. I was watching this, but then I couldn't change the channel because you wanted to see how bad it was going to get, even though it was absolutely brutal. Did the Thunder's 51-point win say more about OKC to you or the Grizzlies?
OKC for me. I thought they wanted to send a message. I agree with Big Perk. I think they came out phenomenally defensively. I think Memphis probably didn't have enough time to properly prepare for OKC, just to give them something in their corner. However, OKC took care of business. Yeah, 6 guys in double figures. You hold this team to, 17% shooting from the three, 34 from the floor. Just a phenomenal defensive effort by the OKC Thunder.
Yeah, look, I don't think the message. I think everybody knows that OKC Thunder are good. They have one of the best records. They have the West. They won the West. They have probably had the West sold up by January 1st. By New Year's, they were going to be the #1 seed in the Western Conference. But when you get Ja, he had 17 points, but it was an inefficient 17. You get Jaren Jackson that doesn't really show up. Those were 2 guys that you really needed, and Desmond Bane. Your 3 best players don't give you much. Well, that's what you can expect. And you know how it is, Booze. You get into these playoff games and you're on the road, and all of a sudden the crowd gets into it, and it seems like every shot that goes up for the home team goes into the basket. And as it goes to 10, it goes to 15, 20, 30, 40, there's nothing you can do. I'd have came out in the half and say, hey, guys, just go ahead and stay over here. We're not going to get back in this game. Let's just, take this butt cutting like men, regroup, and be able to come back out here in a couple of days and try to get a win and go back 1-1. But it didn't send no statement to me, because I remember, Stephen A., you're old enough to remember. You remember the Memorial Day Massacre? When I think the Celtics beat the Lakers by what, 40? Yeah. Didn't mean anything. It's one win. And I understand it's a very lopsided win, and you don't want to be on the end of it, a lopsided loss, but it's one. Those points don't carry over. It's not like it's not like OKC is going to pick up and get 50-plus points towards the next game. It's one game, and if I'm Memphis, yes, that was a butt cutting. We didn't put our best effort forward, but I expect them to come out and play a lot better. Not to say they're going to win, but I'm not going to overreact to one game.
Well, they've smoked Memphis in all 5 meetings they've had against them this year by 13 points or more in every single win. So they've got their number, particularly this year. We get that part, number one. Number two, Memphis, even though they put themselves in their predicament and they don't deserve any sympathy cards from it, from a reality standpoint, they did play a play-in game Friday night, which was the nightcap, no pun intended, the last game that night. And then they got the first game on Sunday morning. I mean, it's like, damn, y'all, you couldn't give them a few extra hours for crying out loud. That is true. But then there's the other thing that we got to pay attention to. The front line of Chet Holmgren and these boys. You got Chet Holmgren, okay, and Jalen Williams. I'm looking at them, even though he's not on the really front line. But you got Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hartenstein, and these cats. Jaren Jackson Jr. and Zach Edey, 4 points. 4 points each? Come on, man. You got to do better than that. That's pathetic. All right? And I love Jaren J. I love Triple J. But you got to do better than that, okay? Here's where I'm going with this. And let me say this. And put Bulls and Shannon up on the screen, please, because I want to see if they agree with me just with the nodding of the head. When people were making all of this noise about Ja Morant and his signs when he made a shot or whatever, all I said was, look, the league, I think it was much ado about nothing. Leave the kid alone. He's a star in this league. Let's see this brother playing. Let's stop bothering him. But the league says these are the rules. All right, follow the rules, Ja, so you don't have to draw their attention, right? So I just try to throw that off and I shove that aside. Here's what I'm not going to veer attention away from. You lost by 51. Y'all down 50 and you on the bench laughing? Nah, I don't want to see that. I don't think anybody in Memphis want to see that. And why do I bring that up? Because when the Lakers closed them out, Shannon, a couple of years back, you remember this, when Dylan Brooks ticked off LeBron, and LeBron went and put on a show and sent them home, and they was blowing them out by 40 at Crypto. Ja Morant was smiling then. I know the brother is an elite competitor. I know he's a star. But people don't want to see you laughing when you get your ass kicked like that. You know what I'm saying? You want to see somebody ticked off, especially if you're a fan, because you're emotionally invested. And at that particular moment, it gives you questions. It provides a question mark for you as to whether or not that cat's invested. You got vacation plans already? Because let me tell you something, that ass kicking that Oklahoma City gave to you, all right, it doesn't show any signs of letting up. They may not beat you by 50, but it is not beyond the realm of comprehension that they could smoke you by 20 or 30 the rest of the way if y'all don't get y'all act together. You do not want to see the superstar for your team on the bench losing by 50 with a smile on his face. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
I thought it was worth. I'm sorry, fellas. That's just how I feel, and fans that I know feel that way too, for the most part.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
the optics, not
I agree.
okay. All right, guys, when we come back on First.
To say, Thunder Grizzlies, a 51-point loss. It's the 5th largest margin of victory in postseason history, not the kind of history you want to make. Jalen Williams with 20, Chet had 19, Ja Morant had 17. SGA only had 15 points, y'all, and it was a 51-point blowout, Lou. If you finished watching this, good for you. What do you make of this?
I just don't see the Grizzlies really having that much offense. I mean, outside of Ja, outside of, Triple J, I don't really see the offense, in this series for them. Obviously, OKC is a monster. They've shown that all season long. They've been in this position before, so that's one thing. But when it comes to Memphis, and Ja was quoted saying, they'll never play that bad again, which I can agree with. But I just don't see them getting the game in this series, to be honest.
Not after that.
Not after that showing, and just seeing how this team is put together. Outside of Ja, I just don't really see what their scoring options are. I'm not that confident in Baines. I think he's a good player. I just don't see him putting them over the hump.
You think he's a good player?
I think he's a good player.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think the Grizzlies will play this bad again, but I still think the Thunder will play this good.
Said.
You know what I mean? They might not play as bad, but the Thunder are good and they are consistent. And they
Shea didn't even play well.
Didn't even need him. It did not even need him. And this also just shows you that the whole narrative of the time's off. Could that hurt them? Will they be rusty? No, that was the opposite. They were fresh. Their legs were fresh. They were so hyped, ready to go. And this game, dude, it was 6 minutes to go in the third quarter.
I can't.
50, 40. It was nuts. I'd never seen it.
I had to do math so many times.
It was crazy.
I was like, this is stupid.
It was crazy. This team just never ceases to amaze me. And we keep talking about their youth and all this stuff. Like, they are poised and primed and ready right now.
The worst type of team you can play is a team that's quiet and confident.
Yeah.
Like, they had no hoopla going into the playoffs. They even asked SGA about some things that were being said in the media, and he brushed it off, said we can care less. We don't really listen to a lot of outside noise. We're just excited to get back on the floor. And they showed it. Like, this is a very mature, young basketball team, and they dangerous. That first outing, if anybody made a statement this weekend, it was OKC for sure. Like, a few teams got their games and made some surprises, but there was no surprise about the effort that OKC gave over this weekend, and they put a lot of people on alert.
I wonder if Mavericks were sad or if they're like, good, I'm glad we're not dealing with this. I can't figure out what they must have thought. We're going to take a quick break. The Eastern Conference also had some games we want to talk about as well when we return.
Chào mừng các bạn đã đến với kênh YouTube của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ làm một chiếc video là tô màu những sản phẩm, hoa quả, con vật, đồ vật, vân vân. Nếu các bạn chưa biết sản phẩm gì đúng không thì hãy xem hết video và để lại một cái like và một lượt subscribe để mình có thể tiếp tục động lực ra video nhé. Và bây giờ các bạn hãy xem hết video để biết đó là sản phẩm gì nhé.